Capcom seems to be taking a long time to get the Not a Hero DLC to any point of release. It's so far beyond what the initial release date was supposed to be at, and we haven't even had a glimpse of details or information about what the DLC's time is going to be around, what the maps are going to be like, or how long and extravagant the plot will be. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about Not a Hero, and I wanted to discuss some thoughts in this video, get some feedback, let you guys know what I think, and see what you think in comparison to that. So I'm not trying to shit on Capcom in this video before anybody makes that accusation, but having such little information over such a long period of time is a little bit worrying, and there's some supporting evidence to back that up. And I'd like to go through that in this video, so without any further ado, let's get right into it as always. So as you all know, initially Not a Hero was slated to be released in summer. However, things did seem to change when we got that apology video from Capcom, and the release date became a TBA, to be announced, which means that we have no idea when it's coming out. It's on infinite hiatus until Capcom says otherwise. Now, it's been a fairly long time since Resident Evil 7 was released, and it's becoming a little bit irrelevant now to the gaming industry. This is quite common for single player games unless they are something that changes the whole cultural generation. And although Resident Evil 7 was a success to most fans, it definitely didn't achieve that level of popularity or success. So now the question is, how come it's taking so long if the game is becoming a little bit irrelevant? And is that worrying? Because the second point I want to make, they've still got the third unannounced piece of DLC to be released, which is going to be unrelated to the story of Resident Evil 7, but somehow connected, so it won't be using any of the characters or anything, but there is going to be a subtle connection between the third DLC and the original game. We do know, however, that Chris Redfield also won't be in there because of that statement. Nobody from the original game is going to be in the DLC. But considering Capcom is taking such great lengths and delaying Not a Hero to such an extent, I just don't think it's a good sign that these two DLCs are going to be as polished as everybody believes. I'm starting to get the perception that Not a Hero DLC, being a free DLC and having been delayed for such a long time, isn't going to have the highest project cost because they got nothing to make back from it as a business. And with additional funds to spend on the third DLC, which is a part of the season pass, I'm not so sure that these two DLCs will have an allotted budget which will put them up to the level of quality that a lot of people are now expecting. I also want to remind people that Capcom is porting various of their old games to different consoles, PC, among other things. We've got Remake 2, Revelations coming to the Switch and PlayStation 4, and things like that. So a lot of the budget costs must be being allocated between these multiple projects, and like I said, I just don't see Not a Hero getting more of the budget than everything else. This is, of course, speculation. There's no way to confirm this without a Capcom employee coming out and saying it themselves in a public statement, but I do think it's a little bit of educated perspective. Another point I wanted to make was the fact that no information has been released. To me, when a company doesn't release any information, it shows they lack confidence in the product they are wanting to sell. Now, I know I said that the DLC is free and that contradicts selling it, but Capcom still has a reputation to hold out on, and I'm really sure at this point that they're a little bit unconfident. Otherwise, knowing how irrelevant the game is becoming and how tedious it is waiting for this DLC and the third DLC for the fans, it's a little bit surprising that nothing has even been hinted at. I'm starting to get the feeling that Capcom's had some kind of crisis identity with the ending of Resident Evil 7, and after Not a Hero was halfway through development, I'm starting to feel they weren't happy with Chris's integration into the plot, and they're trying to rework and rewrite it as best as they can. Now, this is something that obviously should be commended, delaying the DLC as I said, but at the same time not releasing any information about it while it is delayed for such a long extent is just a very worrying thing. I'm noticing a lot of fans are becoming disgruntled at this issue, and I am myself a little bit, to be honest. I really do hope Capcom releases some information on this soon, but it's just a little bit over the top. Not a hero, it's been so many months and I just want to see something. I know the DLC isn't going to be out tomorrow, but I would like to see some kind of screenshot, a trailer, even just an interview discussing the details of the mechanics and how long the length of the gameplay campaign is going to go through, any additional features, or just anything really. I'd appreciate anything, and I'm sure many of you share that feeling and sentiment. Anyway guys, I just wanted to make this video because I'm getting a little bit frustrated with the lack of information, how long we're having to wait, and I just wanted to get this out there and tell you guys my personal feelings on the matter. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say back about this. Like I said, I want to know if you agree, whether you disagree, whether you're still hopeful, whether you're getting a little bit pessimistic and the delay's a little bit tedious, and like I said, give me some information on how you feel about the lack of details being released about Capcom from the DLC as well. Anyway guys, I'm going to end the video here. I've got a Twitter if you want to subscribe to that for all the latest updates, and on top of that guys, we've got a Discord server I link in the description in every single video, and you can click that link and come join and talk to everybody in the community. But for now guys, I just hope you're having a beautiful day. Take it easy and peace.